In a high-powered society, women can often be downplayed and ignored. We speak to wonderful women. Welcome to Wonderful Women Speak by Women Group. We're a women group. We promote women's well-being, empowerment, and spirituality. This podcast will be interviewing various interesting women who are, many of whom are leaders, spiritual, and also healers, and possess an inner and outer strength that can inspire and help other women. So today we will be speaking with Orchid of Orchid Healings.
Yes, okay. Well, I'm a quantum healer facilitator, actually. I do not do healing. What I do is I do quantum hypnosis, which allows people to go into awakened state of hypnosis so they can look into their own intuitions for answers to their questions briefly.
Okay. So
Yeah.
looking into their own selves, you facilitate them looking into their own self to answer certain questions.
Yes, exactly. Yes, my role is really to be a facilitator. I do not give them answers other than when they ask me to channel for them, but I mostly guide them to explore and listen to their own intuition so they can get the answers directly through their intuition and through their senses.
Women and people
Mhm.
tend to be intuitive,
Yes,
but
yes, we are.
may have
Yes,
lost that power.
mm,
Uh,
correct.
so I want
Yes, we all are intuitive, and we just tend to lose this gift through the game of human. Basically, whenever we embrace life fully, we get into the human game, and then we get focused on to work, study, and things like that, and we tend to forget to listen to our gut instinct, or we tend to dismiss them, and that is basically the mistake we tend to do because our own intuition and gut feeling are the best guidance we can get through our journey.
do you believe in feminine spirituality?
Yes, I think this, well, to me anyway, it is linked to the ability of women to bear children.
Mm.
And in doing so, we are a gateway. We have a gateway between the two worlds, between the world where we come from and the human experience. Basically, whenever a woman bear a child, there is a spirit that comes into that body that is going to incarnate as a human being as we are.
Mm.
And in being able to bear that children, we are in that sense, we have a gateway between the two worlds within ourselves, which makes us more intuitive and which allows us to have more kind of a spiritual uh, sense of what is happening rather than being only on the 3D in the physical world.
So I just wanted to clarify, if a
Mhm.
woman, for whatever reason, cannot have children,
Yes,
th- th- that doesn't mean that she's lost her spirituality.
absolutely not. It can be, there are many reasons why a woman cannot have children. It can
Have
be
you ever been the subject of sexism and misogyny,
hmm
or even from negativity from other women along your journey?
Yes, yes, it does happen, but it doesn't happen very often because I think the energy that I put out kind of restrain people from behaving in such a way with me. But to the rare that goes for it anyway, for the men misogynists, I just basically engage conversation with them, and I first of all remind them that the being, the gender that they gave them life, body, and nurture them initially was a gender women.
Mm.
Yes, we are women, we are, I call us the mothers of humanity. And we are not to forget that every woman given leave an imprint of their energies on men and on women and all beings they bear. And
What do you love the most about being a woman?
I would say the fact that I have less pressure from the world to play pretend.
Mm.
Because the well, all societies put a lot of pressure on men to be strong and tall and all these things, where we accept more from women to be sensitive and fragile and things like that. Therefore, women have way less pressure to pretend to be what they're not, and and therefore we can more be who we are. So I really like that about being a woman.
Women's well-being to you, what does that mean?
Well, it means to pay attention to who we are, both physically and mentally. For me, my well being physically is to take care of my body, to listen to it when I'm not feeling good or well, or whenever I'm feeling sick, really to listen to it and pay attention and care so that I retrieve my energy and vibrancy. And mentally, the first thing is really to listen to my intuition. Listening to my intuition is really has become the best thing I do, because yes, it just tells me, okay, now you're a bit tense, put that music on, and then straight on I put it on, and effectively it's an instant relief.
Yeah.
You're feeling a bit kind of a numb at the moment. Okay, so take your food supplement and do some exercise to revitalize your body a little bit. So yes, well-being is really doing things to feel good physically and mentally, and that also goes through extracting myself from any stressful environment or any harmful environment when it's the case.
But on the flip side, I don't know, not listening to it can, and also being on a spiritual journey alone without anybody else, that can be a lonely experience, I find. If you don't have those groups or somebody to help um, to help to help you along that journey, it can be quite lonely. Being alone as opposed to loneliness. So being alone is when there are people not around you,
Mm-hmm.
where you can do self-exploration. But when you're lonely, it's
Mm-hmm.
it tends to be a negative. Lonely is
Yeah,
the
it's a
is the
feeling.
is the feeling when you are alone. So
Yes.
alone, you can do the exploration. You can journey within yourself. You can
Mm-hmm.
top up your intuition
Mm-hmm.
within yourself. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling lonely, it tends
Mm-hmm.
to be a prolonged and uh, a longing for other people to be around you,
Yes.
that you can connect with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I mean by the word lonely. So,
Yes.
like,
Okay.
have you ever felt
Oh
like
yeah,
that? When
definitely.
needing other people to connect with along
Yes.
your spiritual journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I have. Yes, I felt in my journey, basically, my journey started with the passing of my sister, and I felt desperately alone when she passed because my strongest bond was with her. So
Right.
I felt really, really disconnected basically from all human beings. I
Mm.
couldn't emotionally connect with anybody else when she passed, and it lasted a very, very long time.
What does women's empowerment mean to you?
Well, it means to stand in my own feet and not rely on a man for my
Mm.
strength.
Yeah.
Okay. For my own empowerment is basically trusting my personal strengths, my personality, who I am as an individual in the female gender. It means doing things with the same strength or similar to what men are doing. And most of all, I would say, well, I never really had empowerment issue compared to men, because from very early on, I always did my own way when it comes to facing my parents' authority. Then as a teenager, I was hyperactive. So I I don't know, it just happened. I just fell into martial arts, and that helped me a lot because I had loads of energy. But at the same time, it helped build my body, it helped build my physical strength and my mental strength. So whenever actually, and this is something I tend to do, whenever I meet someone who feels a bit weak physically and emotionally, I straight on direct them to martial arts, because it's something which is so useful in all its sense, physical and mentally, that I find no better way than help somebody get empowered in this human journey. So it's definitely the best recommendation. And the other thing is, I took some notes regarding this empowerment thing is into, yes, as a woman, is not to hesitate to express our femininity, which for me is the joyfulness, is the kindness and the caring. Yes, whenever in a setting when where there are only men's, well, I definitely don't try to be a man, because they've been playing that game way longer than I have, so they know better than me. So I play the women game, which is I am who I am, being sweet and kind and joyful. And if they challenge me verbally, I just remind them that their mother is a woman. So what the heck they are telling me about? That's it.
And we also have to be kind and loving,
yes,
and caring towards ourselves as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
In
Yes.
order to empower that spiritual energy. Am I right? Is that how
Yes.
we? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Ask you, have you ever suffered with your mental health?
Yes, I have. I have, because
That's
when my
quite a
sister.
personal question. Yeah.
Sorry.
I said, I
Yes.
know it's quite a personal question, but it's to help other women as well who may
Yes.
suffer.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, mental health, I think through the grieving process, you go into your own mind, and basically I was going AWOL in many direction. I think I had a syndrome of persecution, when at some point I was thinking that people were always being looking to be mean. Yeah, I had mental issues comes in many different ways, and it all happening within our own mind. So the first thing, again, intuition was my salvation, because the first thing was to uh, listen to the guidance of my intuition, in first place to gather with other people who were in their spiritual journey, so that it allowed me to get a different perspective from my own journey, because where I thought I was alone and nobody could understand me, well, in going into a retreat, I understood that everybody was battling their own battle. So that gave me a really awakening perspective on what I was experiencing. And then listening to my intuition as to all the different tools that were out there, all the different self-empowerment facilitators that are out there, that had also messages, and I actually call them my messengers, because each of us, through our own experience and sharing our own experience, bring some messages to other people and so on. So those other facilitators, through their messages, I got my own message, and gradually I was able to recenter and refocus and get back on to a more positive mindset.
Yeah. And how did you do that?
It's basically understanding that my my mood depends on me. not on other people. My thought is what I decide they are, not what I hear they are.
Right.
It's the life is what I choose it to be, not what other people impose on me for it to be.
Okay.
Yes, so it all comes from me, not from other people imposing on me.
So it's like the world and the spiritual world just coming at you all the time, and then you were able, what you did was this is what I'm understanding, that you then uh you you were then able
Decided,
to take control. Yes, you're able to take
yes.
control of that and decide
Mm-hmm.
what you allowed into your being and what you wouldn't allow into your being, and also to um to give out more as well, give out uh in a loving and caring way, I'm guessing.
Yes, yes.
What would you say is the most important thing you've learned about women's mental health personally and also generally for all women? So yeah,
I
what
would
would you
say
say?
I've learned to listen to my intuition and set boundaries.
Hmm.
Yeah, the boundaries are very important as to what I allow in to what I do not allow in.
So how can you help women that might be suffering from, that feel, that maybe feel lonely and feel because we do um like circles and Zooms and activities for women. But how
Mm-hmm.
would you say you could help women that are feeling lonely, are suffering mentally, and needing guidance, that would want to
Okay.
come to you?
Two things. Okay, two things I would say. The first one is there is a need to identify the reason why each individual is going through the experience she's going through, because it's the root cause analysis that will help cure the symptoms. You need to go to the core of the reason why you're experiencing whatever you are experiencing. You are listening, you're understanding, you're validating other people, and we all need to be heard and validated. So, in the Zoom exchange we do, I think it's a very good thing at that moment to share what we are going through, because then they could be in the group. Usually they are, because we are all brought together on purpose for specific um, exchange. Usually it's a give and take. Spirits tend to work that way, so that we can give out something that can be useful to somebody else and take something that can be useful to us. So in the Zoom group exchange, that can be definitely happening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Orchid. And it's been
You're
wonderful
most welcome.
speaking with you.